Anthony Casados. Are we on? Are we? Okay, boom. Sometimes it takes forever. It stays on 0 and then it goes to 1 second, like starting for the. Okay, whatever. So, welcome back. If this is your first time tuning in, this is REI Junkies podcast that I made. It's all about real estate investing, and we give your weekly fix of real estate content, where I talk about just topics of real estate, little nuggets of it, and maybe trending topics. I haven't talked about any trending topics. I mean, there's no really trending topics right now, I guess, in real estate. I guess other than interest rates being super high. And we can talk about that, but I don't know. That sounds pretty boring to me. Maybe we can talk about that another day. But nonetheless, we I also interview other investors, right? And so that's the funner part. But this type of episode is just me talking to you. I'm in your ears, and and if you're watching it, you're looking at me. Cool. My name is Anthony Casados. Go follow me on Instagram. I started real estate about a year ago. Almost 2 years ago. Well, kind of. It took me a while to get started in real estate. It took me a while. I had a lot of analysis paralysis, okay? So I claim I have been in real estate for a while, but it's really I've been real estate for like a year and some change, right? It hasn't been too long. But I've been studying a lot, and I'm unashamed about it. Whatever. I studied too much before I even took action. Okay, don't beat me up. Don't sue me. Again, also, I just want to clarify: none of this stuff that I say is financial advice. I am not a CPA. If I tell you on accident, if it slips out, I'll be like, you should do this with your money. Don't do it. Just hear me. I mean, this is all for entertainment purposes. Today we are going to talk not about money, but we are going to talk about a lead. And I think this is super important because I've gotten a couple DMs ever since starting this podcast, which is pretty cool. There's not a lot of views. I'm not going to front and be like, oh, I'm just cool podcaster. But I've gotten a couple DMs, and a couple of them said that they essentially wanting to bring me a lead, right? And so I think this is important. Especially for the new guy starting in real estate that's kind of just, getting into it, and actually getting some traction, right? Talking to sellers and taking action. I think this is super important. Even if you've heard this before, you want to refresh your mind and hear it again. The 4 pillars is what we're going to talk about. So let me backtrack a little bit. What is a lead versus what is a prospect? Gotcha. Those are 2 different things. A prospect is basically a potential lead, right? A lead is somebody that says, hey, I got a house that's for sale. You reached out, or I reached out to you, and you got my condition of the property. You've written down the condition of the property. When I want to sell it. How much I want to sell it for, and my motivation for selling it. So those are the 4 pillars, basically. I just went over them, probably flew over your head, so I'm going to break them down one by one, okay? Whenever you bring somebody, because I'm guilty of this too, when I was first, networking and starting off and being like, gain some trust, or I started to trust other, more experienced investors. I'm not, by any means, I'm not saying I'm an experienced investor, right? But when I first started, I was wanting to send people deals, and I thought I was sending leads, and I wasn't sending leads, because what a lot of people do is they'll send, I'm gonna send you a lead, and what happens is they send people that could maybe want to sell, but all right, say you got this friend. I always use the name Bob. All right. You got this homie named Bob. He's trying to send you some leads, right? Bob sends you a lead about a 2-bedroom, one bath house in whatever, freaking North Dallas, right? And you're like, all right, cool. So you hit them people up, and they're like, who the hell is Bob? I never talked to this Bob guy. I don't even want to sell my house. like Bob, what the fuck, bro? I mean, what the heck, bro? You just said you're gonna send me a lead. And this guy never even spoke to you. Like, how do you know they want to sell? They didn't even want to sell. And so like that's what a lot of people do, and it's pretty common to and it's funny too because I used to do this shit too, but I used to be like, hey bro, here's a lead, and this shit ain't really a lead. It's just an ugly house that I saw, and I don't even know who owns this shit. I just know that on public record it said freaking Albert owns that shit or whatever. But here's the thing: in order to build a better relationship with the more experienced investor that you're sending the leads to try to go half on a deal, you want to send them quality leads. You want to do the legwork in actually finding what the timeline, condition, price, and motivation is, right? Because if you're still working on your sales skills, which shit, I am too. I'm trying to get better at these sales, bro. One of the main vital things is to get the 4 pillars out the way. What are the 4 pillars? Timeline, condition, price, and motivation. Damn, I got some ugly ass fingers. All right. Timeline, when they want to sell. If they want to sell 4 years from now, bro, a lot of shit can change in 4 years. So you're not going to, give them a price and be like, yeah, I'll give you 100,000. And then that shit ain't going to hold for 4 years. So if you're somebody's, looking to sell in 4 years, I mean, that's 4 years, bro. You're going to, if you have a CRM and you want to track that for 4 years, it's on you. But you want them to be ideally, 6 months and under. You want to follow up with them, right? If people say a year, well then you track them for a year, whatever. But the timeline's got to be short. They can't be like, I'm thinking about it. Maybe when I retire, and they're like 30 and shit, and so you're like, oh well, that's 30 years from now, So you want to make sure that timeline kind of meets your timeline, right? The next thing, condition of the property. I said that shit funny. Condition, bro. Condition. Hey, side note. So my dog ran away today, and it was gonna be a bad day. Today's the first day of the year. This is January 1st when I'm recording this, and it was the year was literally about to take a bad start. But luckily he was at the neighbor's house chilling with him, and so yeah, my dog. His name is Trouble, and he lives up to his name sometimes. But anyways, where was I? Condition. So look, condition of the house, right? That's you can deep dive into condition, but basically you kind of want to know what the condition is. Basically, you want to know if it's ugly or goddamn ugly. If it's a nice house and they're wanting all cash, it's probably not investor friendly. They should probably go on the market, right? Unless you figure out some terms, which whatever. But you want to know the condition of the property. If you have a lead, you want to know what it looks like inside. If you have pictures, that's even better. You got pictures, that'll be dope. But you want to kind of get a good gauge of what the condition is. If it has foundation issues, if it has electrical, plumbing, all the main issues, HVAC, all that stuff. You want to know what's up. Does it have dirty old carpet? Does it have floors that creak or whatever? And if you're up north doing deals out in Baltimore or whatever, you want to know if it got a basement and stuff like that. But yeah, so and then you want to. I think one of the most important questions of that whole condition thing is knowing because a lot of people just in if you probably know this, but a lot of people will say, yeah, their house is in good condition, but it's in good condition for like the 70s, and stuff kind of like evolved over time, right? There's more modern looking kitchens. So I think a good kind of question would be, as one of the common ones is like, when was the last time you updated your kitchen and bathrooms? And so that'll kind of give you a gauge of when, if it's been more, or have you updated your kitchen and bathrooms in the last 5 years? And if they haven't, and then it's probably a little outdated. So you're going to have to do some, cosmetic work and, add some fresh coat of paint or whatever. If they got wallpaper and stuff, bro, that shit's old. But you kind of want to get a good gauge. Ask them if they can send you pictures if they don't want you going over and taking pictures yourself because you're this random person. So Ask them if they can take pictures of the property. That's when that trust builds in, that rapport builds in. You have to, anyways, on to the next time. So we got timeline, condition, and then you got to know what the price they want, right? I had this conversation with somebody before, is like, not getting the price because, and that's a whole argument in itself. But maybe not getting the price because you're going to offer your price regardless. And so structuring the conversation in a way to where this is, we ran our numbers and this is what we qualify for, or you qualify for, however you want to do that. But a price is not the most important, because at the end of the day, you're going to give your price, but you kind of want to get a gauge of what they're, I say that, but it's tough. Price is important. I think price is important. People have their different ways of doing things. So, but I'm just kind of giving you the common, what the four pillars are in order to get the lead. Because if they're wanting $1 million, and you know that house is worth 150,000 or 200,000, then they're just bullshitting or whatever, or they're out of their mind. They're never gonna get $1 million until we start living on Mars and shit. But even then, we got Mars. If we're gonna go, okay, whatever. So the most important one, the last one, is motivation. All right, you get a good gauge of their motivation, their why, because as the famous Pace Morby says, it's never about the house. It's never about the house. Think about that, bro. If somebody's selling their house, it's never about the house. It's never because, oh, I got popcorn ceilings. Like, no, bro, you're still going to live in that shit. It's never about the house, So, we'll leave it at that. Just know the motivation is the most important. If you know the motivation, that also is a clear indicator that if you know their motivation, that's a good indication that you kind of built some type of rapport, right? Because not everybody's gonna, trust you with sensitive information, especially if they're going through a hard time, like something like a foreclosure, right? And so if you know their motivation and they spilt that to you, they spilt the beans, then that's a clear indicator that you kind of did a decent job of building some rapport. But that's it, man. 4 pillars. You gotta go and get them 4 pillars in order for it to be a lead. And so that's what somebody who's constantly getting deal flow and constantly getting leads in their inboxes want. They want real leads and not these prospects where they still gotta call to see if they're wanting to sell. No, they want somebody that's raised their hand and been like, yep, I want to sell. This is what I want. This is the condition. This is the timeline. They want these notes. They want the notes part of it, and they want this. They want qualified leads. And yeah, you can. As a side note, like once you get more experience, and I'm not there yet, right? I don't have a VA, but I want to get one. But you can hire virtual assistants to do all the prospecting for you in the future. Just as a side note, just in case you didn't know, you like a lot of people do that, right? They get VAs, and which is virtual assistants that like live in the Philippines, which you pay them like because the cost of living is different over there, so you pay these Philippine people or Mexican people. There's VAs from Mexico. I heard they're pretty good. Philippine, India, whatever. You pay these virtual assistants like $4 or $5 an hour. And they do the prospecting while you do the bigger money stuff, right? You do the more what do they call it? I don't know. You delegate the stuff that can be delegated, and then you do the more important things that are more vital to your business. So that's that. 4 pillars. I'm Anthony Casados. I'm out. Catch me on the next one. This one was under 15 minutes. That's pretty dope. But yeah, leave a review, share it with a friend, do what you got to do, please. And thank you, much appreciated for all the people that has watched my podcast so far. It's been fun. I got this sign. I like this sign, man. I'm showing it off. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, man. See you on the next one. Peace.